My name is Ashley, and I want to share my story with you. Let's go back to the beginning, where it all started, a fresh start filled with hope and dreams. Brooke and I had been together for 5 wonderful years before we decided to tie the knot. Our love was strong, and we were excited to embark on this journey as husband and wife. We found our dream home, a cozy little house with a white picket fence, and began turning it into a place that reflected our personalities and dreams. One sunny morning, as I stood in the kitchen sipping my coffee and gazing out at our blossoming garden, Merc entered with a grin on his face. "Morning, beautiful," he said, planting a gentle kiss on my cheek. "Can you believe this is our home? It's a new chapter, a new beginning for us." I turned to face him, my eyes filled with joy. "I know," the Mark. "It's incredible. I can't wait to fill this house with love and laughter, and soon the pitter-patter of little feet." Mark's eyes sparkled with excitement.
Listen, baby. Para un little bundle of joy. I can already imagine playing catch in the backyard and reading bedtime stories. Our family is growing and it's going to be amazing.
We spent the day decorating the nursery, choosing soft colors and adorable animal motif. The room felt warm and inviting, waiting patiently for our little one's arrival. As the weeks turned into months, my baby bump grew, and with it, our anticipation. Mark showered me with love and attention, always making sure I was comfortable and well taken care of. We attended parenting classes together, eagerly learning everything we could to prepare for our new roles as mom and dad. One evening, we sat on the porch swing, holding hands and watching the sunset. The air was filled with a sense of contentment and excitement for the future.
I love you. Ashley, Mark whispered, his voice filled with tenderness.
"I love you too." "Mark," I replied, leaning into his embrace. "We're going to be amazing parents. Our baby is so lucky to have you as a father." Mark chuckled softly.
"And our baby's even luckier to have you as a mother. Guys, you're gonna be incredible. Ashley, I can't wait to see our little one's face, to hold him in my arms, but..."
Tears of happiness welled up in my eyes. "I can't wait either." Marked. "Our love created this miracle, and together we'll give them the best life possible." At night, as we lay in bed, Mark gently placed his hand on my stomach, feeling the subtle kicks of our unborn child. We fell asleep, dreaming of the beautiful family we were about to create. Little did we know that our journey would take an unexpected turn, testing the strength of our love and resilience in ways we never imagined. As my pregnancy progressed, Mark's behavior started to change. He began staying late at work more often, leaving me alone at home with my growing concerns. Thoughts of his late nights and sudden preoccupations plagued my mind, creating a storm of doubt with me. During me evening, as I sat on the couch flipping through a parenting magazine, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Mr. Mark had promised to be home early that night, but the minutes turned into hours and he was nowhere to be seen. My worry turned into anxiety, my heart racing with unanswered questions. When the front door finally creaked open, I jumped up, a mix of relief and frustration coursing through my veins. Brooke stumbled inside, looking exhausted and disheveled. "Mark, where have you been?" "You said you'd be home hours ago," I blurted out, unable to contain my emotions. He avoided eye contact, his voice tinged with weariness.
I'm sorry. Ashley, it was a hectic day at work and I had to stay late. I didn't have a choice.
"But you could have at least called." Mark, "I've been worried sick," I replied, my voice trembling with a mix of anger and concern. He sighed, running a hand through his hair.
I'm sorry. Things have been really intense lately. The company is going through some changes, and I've been assigned additional responsibilities. Through it on there, I didn't want to burden you with my work stress, but I understand that I should have kept you informed. Please forgive me.
His words held a hint of sincerity, but doubt still lingered in my heart. Was he telling the truth? Or was there something more to his late nights? As I decided to give him the benefit of the doubt, hoping that my worries were merely the product of pregnancy hormones and an overactive imagination. As days turned into weeks, and Mark's late nights at work became a regular occurrence. Each time he walked through the door, exhaustion etched into his face. I found myself questioning his motives. The doubts gnawed at me, slowly eroding the trust we had built. As it stepped of year one evening, as we sat at the dinner table, the weight of my worries became too heavy to bear. I took a deep breath and mustered the courage to address the elephant in the room. "Mark, can we talk?" I said, my voice soft but filled with a tinge of unease. He looked up from his plate, concern flickering in his eyes.
Of course, Ashley, so
"I've noticed that you've been coming home late a lot lately, and I can't help but feel worried. Is everything okay? Is there something you're not telling me?" I asked, my voice trembling slightly.
Ashley, I promise you there's nothing you need to worry about. I know I've been distant, but it's solely because of the work pressures I mentioned before. I want you to trust me, to believe that I'm doing everything I can to support our family. I love you and our baby more than anything in this world, but
His words were reassuring, yet the seed of doubt remained. I wanted to believe him, to hold on to the love we had, but my heart couldn't silence the nagging thoughts in my mind. After weeks of doubts and worries, the weight of the unknown finally became too much to bear. During one fateful evening, as I lay in bed next to a peacefully slumbering Mark, I couldn't shake the nagging feeling that something was amiss. Next, the glow of the moon cast an eerie light into the room, adding to the restlessness that plagued my mind. I turned to face Mark, watching his peaceful expression as he slept. Its sense of guilt washed over me as I contemplated invading his privacy, but the fear of betrayal gnawed at my heart. I glanced at his hand, still holding his unlocked phone, mere inches away from me. It was an impulse born out of desperation. I had to know the truth. Carefully, I reached for the phone and unlocked it. My hands trembled with a mix of anticipation and dread as I scrolled through his messages. And there it was, like a dagger to my heart. that the evidence of his infidelity laid bare in the digital realm. These tears streamed down my face as I read the intimate exchanges between Mark and another woman. The messages were filled with declarations of love and promises of a life together, and betrayal coursed through my veins, mixing with the love and trust that had once defined our relationship. I wanted to confront him immediately, to demand an explanation for his deceit, but as I looked at his peaceful face, I realized that this revelation couldn't be dealt with in the heat of the moment. I laid a plan, a way to confront him without revealing that I had discovered his secret. To the night passed in agonizing silence, my mind racing with thoughts of vengeance and justice. By morning, I had made up my mind. I wouldn't confront him right away. Instead, I would gather evidence, bide my time, and deliver my own form of justice. Still days turned into weeks, and I observed Mark's every move, documenting his absences and late nights. The once vibrant love between us had turned into a charade, a mask of happiness I wore while plotting my revenge. Each one evening, Mark returned home later than usual, exhaustion etched into every line on his face. He collapsed onto the bed, instantly succumbing to sleep. Holding his phone unlocked once more, I couldn't resist the temptation to confirm my suspicions. As I scrolled through his messages, my heart sank deeper. Honestly, it became evident that his late nights were not spent working, but rather in the arms of his mistress. That realization cut through me like a sharp blade, fueling my determination to bring him to his knees. I wanted to confront him right then and there, to unleash the torrent of emotions that swirled within me. But a voice of reason whispered in my ear, "Patience. Ashley, bide your time." And so I held my tongue, allowing him to sleep soundly beside me, unaware that his betrayal had been exposed. The sigh of the night grew darker, but my resolve burned brighter than ever. But with each passing day, my determination grew stronger. The sleepless nights and hidden tears fueled my desire for justice. It was time to unmask the deception and expose Mark's infidelity for what it truly was. One morning, as Mark prepared to leave for work, a sense of purpose surged through me. I put on a brave face, hiding my inner turmoil, and bid him farewell with a smile. "Have a great day at work, Mark," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I'll see you tonight." He kissed my forehead absent-mindedly, his mind seemingly preoccupied with his secret life.
Thanks. Ashley, I'll try to be home early tonight.
After the front door closed behind him, I sprung into action, determined not to let him out of my sight. I discreetly followed him, careful not to reveal my presence. And my heart pounded in my chest, a mix of fear and anticipation coursing through my veins. I watched from a distance as he entered a quaint cafe. Entering impulse quickened as I saw him sitting with a woman I had never seen before. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. He hadn't been working late all those nights. He had been spending his time with his mistress. I fought back tears, anger burning hot within me. Actually, the sight of their laughter and intimacy felt like a betrayal on a whole new level. The truth had been laid bare before my eyes, and there was no denying the painful reality. Summoning every ounce of strength I had, I retreated to a nearby park, finding solace in its tranquil atmosphere. Thoughts raced through my mind as I grappled with the shock of the revelation. I battled with determination as I contemplated my next move. It suddenly became clear. Mark had been deceiving not only me but also our finances. If he wasn't working, then he must have been using his credit card to fund his secret rendezvous. The realization stung, fueling my desire for justice even further. The mistake turned into weeks as I meticulously gathered evidence, meticulously documenting Mark's expenses and the extravagant purchases made on his credit card. The more I discovered, the deeper the wound of betrayal became. But I didn't stop there. With a mixture of determination and a touch of audacity, he packed up his belongings, the remnants of a life built on lies, and sent them to the hotel where he had been meeting his mistress. It was a bold move, a visual representation of the shattered life he had created. As the days passed, I mustered the courage to broach the subject with our son. Ethan, wise beyond his 8 years, he understood the gravity of the situation. Sitting together in his room, surrounded by toys and innocence, I asked him the question I had been dreading. Ethan, sweetheart, do you want to leave and start fresh? I asked, my voice laced with both sadness and determination. He looked up at me, his eyes reflecting a mixture of understanding and unwavering support.
Mom, I don't want to see Dad hurting you anymore. I want us to be happy, even if it means leaving him behind.
Tears welled up in my eyes as I embraced my son tightly, grateful for his wisdom beyond his years. We made the decision together to leave behind the pain and embark on a new chapter, just the two of us, but with a heavy heart. I packed our belongings, leaving behind the shattered remnants of a life we once shared. We moved to a new house, a fresh start where the echoes of betrayal would slowly fade away. We moved to a new house, a fresh start where the echoes of betrayal would slowly fade away. As time passed, Mark returned from his supposed business trip, unaware of the impending storm awaiting him. He stood before me, remorse etched into his face, realizing that his reckless actions had left him with nothing. This with the truth of Mark's infidelity and financial betrayal exposed. I couldn't simply stand by and let him continue his deceitful ways. It was time to take matters into my own hands, to reclaim the power he had stripped away from me. The day Mark announced his departure for a supposed business trip, I saw through his facade. It was crystal clear that he was using the trip as an opportunity to be with his mistress, to continue the charade of his double life. But this time, I was prepared. As the front door closed behind him, a surge of determination coursed through my veins. I knew exactly what I needed to do. I grabbed my laptop and began researching, gathering information that would allow me to deliver a blow that he would never see coming. With every click and keystroke, my plan took shape. I discovered the hotel where he was staying with his mistress, an oasis of secrets and lies. It was time to turn the tables to make him face the consequences of his actions. I blocked his credit card, ensuring that he would be unable to use it for his clandestine rendezvous. It was a small act, a mere taste of the pain he had inflicted upon me, but it was a start, a way to disrupt his carefully constructed world. Next, I packed up his belongings, each item carrying the weight of his betrayal. It's the clothes, the personal mementos, everything that once represented a life built on love and trust now symbolized deceit and heartache. Meticulously labeled each box, addressing them to the hotel where he had sought refuge with his mistress. With a mix of resolve and sadness, the sectarians for the boxes to be shipped to the hotel, knowing that the arrival of his belongings would serve as a stark reminder of the shattered life he had left behind. It was a moment of poetic justice, a way to unmask his secrets for all to see. Weeks passed, and I focused on rebuilding my life, creating a safe haven for my son and me. Our new home was filled with love and healing, a sanctuary where the wounds of betrayal slowly began to mend. Then the day of Merck's return arrived, and with it came an unexpected twist. He stood before me, remorse etched into his face, realizing that his reckless actions had left him with nothing.
I have nothing left, Mark admitted, his voice filled with defeat. I've lost everything because of my own selfishness and mistakes.
I looked at him, the pain of his betrayal still etched in my heart. Mark, you made your choices. You shattered the trust we had, and you have to face the consequences. I can't forgive you for what you've done. His eyes pleaded for forgiveness, but I stood my ground, my voice steady. My son and I deserve better. It's time for us to move on, to build a life without the deceit that plagued our marriage. Our son and I deserve better. Ethan, our young and perceptive son, stood beside me, his unwavering support a testament to the strength we had forged together.
You hurt Mom, Dad. I can't forgive you either.
A couple of weeks later, the divorce was finalized, a necessary step to sever the ties that bound us. It was a painful process, but one that paved the way for a new beginning. As the dust settled and the scars began to heal, I reflected on the path I had taken. I had chosen to take control of my own destiny, to fight for justice in the face of betrayal. Each of my actions, although unconventional, had allowed me to reclaim my power and set the course for a brighter future. After the tumultuous journey of betrayal, revenge, and healing, a sense of calm settled over our lives. Ethan and I moved into a new house, leaving behind the painful memories and shattered dreams of our old life. It was a symbolic step toward embracing the future and creating a haven of love and stability. As we settled into our new home, I couldn't help but feel a mix of emotions: relief, sadness, and a glimmer of hope. This was our chance to rebuild, to redefine our lives on our terms. Just to consistent New Year's Eve, the walls of our new house echoed with laughter and joy as Ethan and I created new traditions and cherished moments. We painted rooms together, choosing colors that evoked a sense of peace and harmony. It was a collaborative effort, a symbol of our unity in the face of adversity. This turned into weeks, and the wounds of betrayal slowly began to heal. I had the support of friends and family, along with the unwavering love of my son, provided the foundation I needed to navigate this new chapter of life. One sunny afternoon, as I watched Ethan play in the backyard, a sense of contentment washed over me. I realized that our journey had not defined us. It had strengthened us. It was a testament to the resilience and determination that lay within our hearts. A month later, Buck returned a changed man, stripped of his illusions and left with nothing. He stood before me, remorse etched into every line of his face, the weight of his mistakes evident in his eyes.
I've lost everything. Actually, he admitted, his voice filled with regret. I had it all and I threw it away for something fleeting. I says on the tower closed, sir. I don't expect your forgiveness, but I want you to know that I'm truly sorry for the pain I've caused. I looked at him, my voice filled with a newfound strength.
Mart, I appreciate your apology, but forgiveness is not something that can be given easily or quickly. The wounds are still fresh, and it will take time for the scars to fade. We need to focus on moving forward separately. Ethan, standing beside me, chimed in, his voice filled with conviction. We can be happy without him. We deserve better. Mark nodded, a mixture of acceptance and remorse on his face.
You're right. I wasn't there. But your mother is a remarkable woman. She deserves happiness. I hope that someday she can find it.
And with that acknowledgement, requited our lives, a chapter closed but not forgotten. Rituals, it was a turning point for all of us, a recognition of the irreparable damage caused by his betrayal and a commitment to building a better future. Months turned into years, and life continued to unfold. Ethan grew into a resilient and compassionate young man, thriving in his studies and hobbies. Together, we embraced new experiences, creating memories that filled our hearts with warmth. As for me, I focused on self-discovery, nurturing my own passions and aspirations. I delved into new hobbies, reconnected with old friends, and found solace in my own strength. Upon the distance, the wounds of the past may have left scars, but they also served as a reminder of the resilience that defined me. And so a new life began, a life filled with hope, forgiveness, and the unwavering love between a mother and her son. We had overcome the trials that threatened to break us, emerging stronger on the other side.